Most people go through life thinking that being smart is all about memorizing facts, quoting books, or getting straight A's. We're conditioned to believe that intelligence is measured by what you know, how many things you can remember, how quickly you can process information, or how well you can recite something from a textbook. It seems like the smarter you are, the more information you should have at your fingertips, right? But deep down, you start to feel that something doesn't quite add up. You've seen it yourself. People with fancy degrees, who have all the letters after their names, making decisions that don't make any sense. You've watched someone with a ridiculously high IQ completely fall apart under pressure, freeze up, and be unable to handle even the most basic challenges. And then you think to yourself, if they're so smart, why do they keep messing up? It's a confusing thing to witness because we're all taught that being intelligent means being successful. But time and time again, you've seen people who seem to have all the answers stumble. It doesn't make sense. So what's really going on? Here's the thing. Being smart isn't about knowing more. It's not about memorizing more facts or having a greater depth of knowledge than anyone else. It's about seeing the world through a different lens, thinking in ways that most people never even think to consider. It's about being able to look at a problem and find solutions that others might miss, or understanding a situation from angles that others have never thought of. It's about using your mind to make sense of complexity, not just regurgitating information you've been told. The truth is, the most successful and impactful people aren't necessarily the ones who know the most. They're the ones who know how to think differently. They are the ones who have mastered the art of clear, strategic, and creative thinking that transforms challenges into opportunities. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. You're about to learn how these 5 mental shifts don't just make you smarter, they make you dangerously effective. Imagine becoming the kind of person who walks into any room and instantly shifts the entire atmosphere, not by boasting, not by making a scene, but simply by your presence. The type of person who commands attention without saying a word, who has an energy that speaks louder than anything they could say. No ego, no bragging, just a quiet, calm power that others can't help but respect. These shifts aren't about working harder. They're not about trying to memorize more facts or rushing to prove how much you know. These mental shifts are about working smarter, thinking clearer, and seeing the world in ways most people never even think to consider. And once you embrace these, you won't just feel smarter. You'll become a force to be reckoned with. So let's dive in and unlock the power that's been inside you all along. 1. Don't argue to win. Ask to understand. Have you ever noticed how most people argue? It's like they're in a courtroom, trying to prove they're right, trying to dominate the conversation. The goal isn't to understand, it's to win, to prove their point, to make the other person look foolish, or to walk away feeling like they came out on top. And this is where things go wrong, because when the goal of a conversation becomes winning, it stops being a conversation and turns into a battle. But here's the secret. Smart people don't play that game. They don't care about winning. They care about understanding. They understand that every conversation is an opportunity to learn something new, to see the world through someone else's eyes, and to get closer to the truth. Rather than focusing on making their own point, they ask questions like, what makes you feel that way? What's the deeper reason behind your perspective? What result are you really hoping to achieve here? It's about asking, not attacking. And by asking thoughtful, open-ended questions, they create space for real dialogue. They show genuine interest in what the other person thinks and feels, which shifts the focus from winning the argument to discovering the truth together. This approach doesn't just make for better conversations, it builds stronger relationships. When you ask to understand, you remove the pressure of needing to be right. Instead of making the other person feel like they have to defend themselves, you make them feel heard. And when people feel heard, they open up. They share more than they might have otherwise. And that's where the real magic happens. The truth begins to emerge. In contrast, when you argue to win, people start to shut down. They defend themselves. They become defensive, and the conversation becomes about winning rather than learning. But when you step into a conversation with curiosity, when your first instinct is to understand, not to prove your point, something changes. People feel safe. They feel respected. And when people feel respected, they let their guard down. And that's when the most important insights come to light. This is how smart people change minds, not by overpowering others with logic or force, but by creating an environment where others feel safe enough to explore their own thoughts. By asking the right questions, smart people can help others see things from a completely different angle. And this process is what leads to real, lasting change. Because when people understand something deeply, it doesn't just change their mind, it changes their behavior. It's not about defeating someone in an argument. It's about making them see something they've never seen before. That's the true power of understanding. When you make this mental shift, when you stop arguing to win and start asking to understand, you'll find that not only do you have deeper, more meaningful conversations, but you'll also change the way people look at you. People will respect you because they'll know you're not interested in just being right. You're interested in something much more valuable: truth, growth, and connection. 2. Don't obsess over the moment. Zoom out and see the big picture. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment. Life moves fast, and when things don't go as planned, it feels like everything is falling apart. Most people treat failure like it's the end of the world. You mess up a presentation, and suddenly you feel like you're terrible at your job. You get rejected by someone or something, and it feels like you've been shut down for good. You bomb a workout, and in that moment, it's like your entire fitness journey is a failure. You start thinking, I'm just not good enough. It's like one bad moment defines everything. But here's where smart people set themselves apart. They don't take things personally. They don't let a single setback define them. They don't even call it failure, they call it data. Every time something doesn't go as planned, they don't spiral into self-doubt or frustration. Instead, they take a step back and treat the situation like valuable information to learn from. They ask themselves questions like, what led to this? What caused this outcome? What can I adjust next time to make things better? This is where the real power lies. Instead of obsessing over the moment, smart people zoom out and see the bigger picture. They recognize that life is full of ups and downs, and a single failure doesn't change their overall trajectory. When you zoom out far enough, you begin to see the patterns, the bigger picture that most people miss when they're stuck in the heat of the moment. Life isn't a soap opera, full of dramatic twists and turns. It's more like a complex system with many variables at play. When you zoom out and look at life as a system, you begin to realize that nothing is permanent. No mistake, no rejection, no failure is final. Everything is simply feedback. Feedback that helps you understand what works and what doesn't. Feedback that shows you where adjustments need to be made. Smart people don't dwell on the negative or waste time sulking. They know that failure, or even a setback, isn't an end. It's just part of the process. They learn from it, and use it to grow faster. While others get stuck in their emotions, complaining or wallowing in regret, smart people are already thinking about the next step. They're tweaking the system, making adjustments, and moving forward. This mindset allows them to move quickly, learn faster, and improve constantly. They don't let setbacks break them. They let setbacks teach them. It's this ability to zoom out, to see the bigger picture, that helps them grow exponentially. They understand that everything they do is a step toward a larger goal, and that one misstep doesn't mean they're off course. It just means they need to recalibrate and keep going. So, instead of getting stuck in a bad moment, take a breath, zoom out, and see it as part of a much larger journey. Embrace each mistake as a learning experience, and remember, nothing is permanent. Every piece of feedback, no matter how tough, is a chance to adjust and come back even stronger. Third, filter everything through one simple question. Is this in my control? It's natural to feel stressed about things that aren't going the way we want. We've all been there. You get stuck in traffic, and suddenly the whole day feels ruined. Someone talks behind your back, and before you know it, you're spiraling into frustration. The news hits, and suddenly you're overwhelmed by the chaos of the world, the opinions of others, the constant noise, all the things happening around you. It can feel like it's too much to handle. And here's the problem. The more you focus on the things you can't control, the more you get dragged down by them. You spend so much time and energy trying to fix what's not yours to fix, and before you know it, you're completely burnt out. But here's where smart people stand out. They don't waste energy on things they can't change. They've mastered a simple but powerful filter. Is this in my control? It's a mental shift that completely changes the way they approach challenges. When faced with any situation, they pause and ask themselves, can I control this? If the answer is yes, they take action. They get to work, they do what's necessary, and they focus on solving the problem. But if the answer is no, if they can't change it or influence it in any way, they let it go. Simple as that. They don't let themselves get consumed by things they can't impact. They don't waste time overthinking, stressing, or dwelling on the uncontrollable. Instead, they move forward. This approach keeps them grounded. It helps them stay focused on what truly matters, and it allows them to conserve their energy for things that are within their power to change. Whether it's a difficult situation at work, a personal challenge, or even just a bad mood, they don't let it throw them off course. They ask themselves the one question, is this in my control? And they respond accordingly. This ability to filter out the noise is what creates that calm, collected energy you see in high performers. They aren't rattled by the chaos around them. They aren't driven by the constant need to fix everything or please everyone. Their focus isn't on controlling the outside world, it's on controlling themselves. And when you master self-control, you become unshakable. Think about it. If you're always reacting to things you can't change, you're letting the world control you. But when you focus only on what's in your control, you regain power over your own life. You stop wasting precious time and mental energy on things that don't serve you, and you channel it into making real progress on the things that do. That's where the real strength lies. It's not in trying to fix everything or overexerting yourself to change the world. It's in being ruthlessly focused on what you can control and letting the rest go. When you develop that kind of focus, your energy becomes unstoppable, and you move through life with a sense of calm that others will notice, respect, and even envy. 4. get comfortable with silence. Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable people get when there's silence? It's almost as if the stillness makes them nervous. People start rushing to fill the air with something. Anything. Jokes, arguments, small talk, noise. It's like they have this instinctive need to break the silence because it feels awkward, like it's unnatural. But here's the thing. Silence isn't something to fear. It's a powerful tool, and smart people, they know how to use it to their advantage. While most people scramble to fill empty spaces with words, the truly intelligent people embrace the quiet. They own the silence. They don't feel the need to fill every pause with chatter. Instead, they listen more than they speak. They let the moment breathe. They understand that in silence, there's power. Think about it. When you're quiet, when you allow space for stillness, you're giving yourself the chance to observe. You're not interrupting. You're not filling the air with noise. You're simply watching, absorbing, and understanding the situation at a deeper level. This is something most people miss because they're too busy talking or reacting. But the person who speaks the least, they often have the most to offer. They've been observing, processing, and understanding what's really going on. Silence does something extraordinary. It makes people lean in. When you're not speaking, people naturally want to fill the silence, so they start to share more than they might have intended to. They reveal things they normally wouldn't. And when people open up, you gain insight into their true thoughts and motivations. You learn things you wouldn't hear if you were just talking over them. And here's the best part. Silence gives you control. It keeps you in the driver's seat. When everyone else is reacting to the moment, filling the air with noise, you remain calm, composed, and in control of the situation. You're not being swept up by the chaos around you. You're above it. And that kind of calm, centered energy, it's magnetic. The more you practice being comfortable with silence, the more powerful you become. The less reactive you are to external stimuli, whether it's someone's rude comment or a stressful situation, the more composed and influential you become. Silence doesn't just help you learn more, it helps you stay focused on what matters. It keeps you grounded, and it makes you someone people can't easily forget. Because here's the truth. When you don't feel the need to fill the air with noise, people take notice. They respect your ability to stay quiet, to observe, and to think. And it's in these moments of quiet strength that your true power is revealed. When you're not reacting to everything around you, when you remain steady and unshaken, you become unforgettable. People remember the calm, the focus, and the clarity you bring to every situation. So next time there's a moment of silence, don't rush to fill it. Embrace it. Own it. Let it be your moment to observe, to learn, and to gain control over the situation. It's in the stillness that the greatest strength often shows up. 5. Don't react. Observe, we've all been there. Someone says something rude or unfair, and before you even realize it, you're already snapping back, firing off a response in the heat of the moment. Or maybe life throws you a curveball, and your first instinct is to panic, to react, to try and fix everything right away. It's natural to want to defend yourself or to jump into action when things don't go your way. But here's the thing, reacting is the easy part. Anyone can do it. But those who can pause and observe, that's where real power lies. Smart people don't rush to react. They don't let their emotions take control of the situation. Instead, they take a step back. They pause, they breathe, they give themselves a moment to process before they say or do anything. They're not immediately swept up in the drama or the chaos. They watch, They take in the whole situation, every word, every body language cue, every subtle detail that others might miss in their rush to react. And that tiny pause, it gives them leverage. While everyone else is scrambling, reacting out of emotion, they have the time to think, to evaluate, and to make a more informed decision. They gain clarity in the silence. They see the bigger picture. They don't just hear the words spoken, they understand the motives behind them. They can spot patterns that others overlook. This moment of observation is where the real insight is found. Because, here's the truth, when you pause instead of reacting, you see what others don't. You can hear what's being said between the lines, read the room in ways others can't, and stay ahead of the situation. The person who reacts immediately is often clouded by their emotions and misses important details. But when you take a moment to observe, you're seeing things more clearly, with a calm and collected perspective that others might lack. This ability to pause and observe makes you stand out. In a world where everyone is quick to react and overreact, being the calm one in the chaos draws people to you. You become the person everyone looks to for guidance, because they know you won't be rattled. You won't jump into the chaos. You'll rise above it. You'll be the one with the clarity and calm energy that others admire and respect. When you stop reacting and start observing, you become a force of strength in any situation. People will notice your composed demeanor, your ability to stay cool under pressure, and your sharp insight. This makes you memorable. This makes you the person people trust in moments of uncertainty. So the next time something unexpected happens, or someone tries to push your buttons, don't immediately react. Pause. Breathe. Observe. In that small moment of stillness, you'll unlock a level of understanding and control that will set you apart from everyone else. You don't need a PhD to be smart. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room. You don't even have to be the fastest learner. What you need is a shift in how you think. Ask instead of argue. Zoom out instead of panic. Focus only on what you can control. Embrace the silence. Observe before you react. That's the real power. Most people won't do this. They'll keep rushing, overreacting, and draining their own energy. But you? If you start practicing these mental habits now, you won't just feel smarter. You'll be smarter. You'll be calmer, sharper, and unshakable. If this video hit home for you, don't just scroll away. Like the video if it sparked something in you. Drop a comment below saying, "Quiet power," so I know you're part of the 10%. And subscribe, because this is only the beginning of unlocking your real potential. Let the world chase after noise. You're here to build silent strength.